Who?
Matt Babcock.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Just loves him. Tell us why, Matt.
You know, Malachi's one of those guys. He's really just chipped away at me. I watched him even when he was at Washington State, a couple of years ago, and transferred to San Diego State. They had a killer year. They only lost 2 games the whole season, and just the more I learned about him, watching him on the court, talking to his coaches, and also getting to know him the last few months, I think the kid's just got it. It's one of these things. We break down all these kids, and you can look at whatever you want on a scouting report. We're looking for that secret sauce. I think Malachi Flynn has it. And I just have a really high confidence level that the kid's going to be a very good NBA player.
All right.
I'm Matt Babcock, NBA draft analyst for basketballnews.com. Recently, we updated our 2021 NBA mock draft. I'd like to provide some analysis on some of our picks. I think Scotty Barnes is a terrific fit in Golden State. Draymond Green has had so much success there. Obviously, their offense has been driven by their shooters and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. But Draymond being, essentially a forward that could defend everybody on the floor and a secondary playmaker, I think that could be Scotty Barnes. I think he could step in and be, perhaps Draymond's understudy.
12, Matt Babcock making the pick.
Yeah, so I've the Sacramento Kings taken Patrick Williams from Florida State. The Kings had just recently parted ways with a longtime boss, Vlade Divac, so we'll see who actually will be making this pick and what direction they're going in. But I think they should go with Patrick. He's a high upside guy. Sort of reminds me of former NBA players Tim Thomas and now Marvin Williams, who just retired. And what's interesting with those two guys is when they came into the league, they were considered hybrid forwards. I personally see Patrick Williams more as a small ball 4, face-up 4. He's got good size, athleticism, can shoot the ball from outside, puts it on the floor, create in the mid-range, and he's switchable on defense. And so he fits how teams are liking to play and utilizing their 4 spot. I don't think he's necessarily ready to contribute at a high level next year, but the next 2 or 3 years, I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the better players coming out of this draft.
Yeah, it could be.
This year we've got Cade Cunningham, who's the front runner to be the #1 pick and is currently #1 on our mock draft. However, I think Evan Mobley's right there. And so depending on who gets that first pick, could shake it up a little bit. But if I were to bet, I think it's going to be Cade Cunningham. He's a 6'8", I guess point guard, but really just a do-it-all kind of guy. Sort of falls into the same mold of like a Luka Doncic where, hey, what position are they? I don't know, but they do everything and the ball needs to be in their hands. And so Cade can be plugged into so many different teams, pretty much any team. And so I'd say the best chance of being the #1 pick is probably going to be Cade Cunningham with Evan Mobley right behind him.
We're going to toss it out to Basketball News' Matt Babcock, who is there, where one school is about to get some very good news. Matt, take it away.
Hi, I'm Matt Babcock of BasketballNews.com. I'm at AZ Compass Prep with 5-star point guard Kylan Boswell, and today he'll be making his college decision. But first, I've got a few questions for Kylan. Kylan, first, can you describe yourself as a player?
I feel like my best attribute to my game is that I'm a winner.
I feel like I did that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
The Big Ten this year was absolutely stacked. As an example, I usually go to the multiple conference tournaments, and
Okay.
I posted up at Indy the whole time to see you and see everybody else.
Yeah.
Who was your toughest matchup this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, Neesmith is, like you said, high character kid, sharp kid that considered going to Ivy League schools and settled on Vanderbilt because it's a good school and happens to be in the SEC, which is good basketball as well. Just the best shooter in the draft. He's got good size and he shoots the ball, which is, coming on a premium, especially in modern day basketball.
I typically put together my schedule. Conference play gets a little easier for me. Strategically, I travel aggressively in November and December to get my bases covered. Then I can pick and choose my spots to travel to between regional conference games. I've seen most of our high priority prospects in person this year already, and I feel like I have a pretty good grip on the bulk of the draft at this point. The way I look at it, we've already done a lot of the necessary work. Now I can switch gears to get into more of a track mode where I focus more on monitoring players rather than becoming familiar with them. I make more of an emphasis to gather intel in January and February too. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Derek Queen from Montverde too. We all need to keep close tabs on him. He is a big-bodied interior scorer that is smooth. His physical development and conditioning are worth monitoring, and low-post scores aren't in as high of demand as in years past. Still, he is a significant young talent nonetheless. I think some of the younger players that possess significant upside but might not have had the opportunity to fully show their stuff throughout the year
A few guys that come to mind are Peyton Watson from UCLA, Josh Minott from Memphis, J.D. Davison from Alabama, and Leonard Miller from Canada. I wouldn't be surprised to see any of these players go in the first round due to their raw talent, despite not being overly productive this past season.